What's going on, guys? Well, this is a run of knives that I made a couple of years ago, and I'm calling this particular model the Physician. And I haven't priced them because I won't be selling them. They're going to be given to a group of physicians that are, in my opinion, competent. I guess you could say courageous, and that they tried something that no other person in their profession would have stepped up and done, probably in the whole country. And they saved my father's life. So let me just start with the story first. My dad, it's been a lot of ups and downs, but a lot of downs. And he got diabetes. He lost both of his legs. You know, started with a diabetic ulcer, and then they just moved on up to the knees. And then he had, one thing left to another. And eventually he began to turn pale. Started complaining about some chest pains. And he wound up going to San Francisco. You know, over a period of time, of course, but eventually he wound up going to San Francisco. He wound up going to the hospital. He wound up being shipped to San Francisco. So he was being told that he won't make it through the weekend. He was going to die that weekend. And my mother and I, we sent him forward on an ambulance cruise over there, and my mother and I had decided that we better hightail it over there ourselves. He wasn't going to make it through the weekend. So eventually, my mother got word from one of the doctors that they were willing to try what was called a hybrid surgery. And I'm not a fairly science-minded guy, but I know a little bit about physiology and things like that, and it had to do with actually grafting veins from another part of the body onto the heart to allow some of the blood flow to go through it a little bit better. I can't even wrap my mind around it. It was just this crazy complicated surgery that was done between two labs in the hospital, or the cardio unit and the cath lab, and they went ahead and offered it, that they could try it. It was a 50-50 chance. He may not make it through, but they could try it. So my mother and I decided to convince him to take the surgery. So he went ahead and decided to take the surgery. Of course, he was pretty well medicated when we talked to him on the phone, and I wouldn't blame him. I'd want to be medicated for that myself. But eventually we went ahead. He went ahead, convinced them, and we got ready to go to San Francisco. So we get to San Francisco, so we get to the Amtrak station, and we're running late, but we're there before the train takes off. But little we know is that you had to be there 10 minutes before, because there's no second clerk to give you your tickets. And something in the back of my mind told me to load up my bank card just in case. It was all before this whole thing came. It blew into town, this whole situation. So we went over to the automated machine, punched my card, 2 occupants, spit out 4 boarding passes, and we literally got on just before the train just took off. Like less than a minute before it took off. So we get to San Francisco. We have them drive us to Kaiser. They drop us off at one of the hospitals. It's the wrong hospital. It's like an outpatient deal. So we get in the elevator, and it's like this long elevator. Like, it's this ride is like this super long. It's like your traditional in-city elevator that's crowded, and it stops at every floor. We found out we're at the wrong hospital. So somebody said, well, get on the tram. The tram will take you to where you want to go. So we get in the tram, waiting for the driver to come back. I said, you know what, screw this. Just get out, start walking up the hill. We're going to find it somewhere. We started walking. Ran across a doctor coming from a store in a white coat, looked like he was on his break. I said, hey, we have a patient up there at this cardio thing. Could you tell us, this unit they have, and could you tell us how to get there? He showed us how to get there, and we got there. And we have a funny inkling that he might have actually stalled him just a skosh so we can get in and say our piece before my dad went in for surgery. So we got in, ran in. He was in one of the, I don't know if you call it the bay or the triage, ready to. He's being prepped for surgery, ready to go. He went in. About 6 hours later, we get the good news. He's not out of the woods. We got the good news that he made it. So, another 2 or 3 days of just ups and downs. His a lot of pneumonia because he gave him too much blood, so they used Lasix to take the water off of his lungs. So they had to give him another drug to protect his kidneys from the Lasix. I mean, just all this stuff, crazy stuff going on. And then he was finally done, and finally he left. He got out of he graduated down the breathing machines and finally got to just plain oxygen and no oxygen. So we're wondering how to get home. So the hospital gave us a van ride home. This van ride, guys, it was just like, imagine like a van that drove on square wheels. I was terrified, okay? Thinking we're all gonna die. We made it home, and then about 2 months down the road, 3 months down the road, his face turned pale white again, and he had to go in. Now, originally this first surgery was done because he hadn't been a bypass candidate. So he had went in the second time around, and they said, you know what? He has a weak heartbeat. We don't know if he's going to make it, but we're going to punt the ball. We're going to do the bypass. Now, I'm not a physician, but knowing what I know about the physiology, I think what happened was the first hybrid surgery that he had saved his life and kind of bottom time so his circulatory system would get good, his heart would get strong, and it could withstand the quadruple. So once they got inside him, they found out his heart was stronger than they thought it was. They performed a quadruple. He made it out, and that was really touch and go. I really actually was expecting to lose him there, to tell you the truth. But it was touch and go. But before I left San Francisco, I told the doctors that I got something coming for you, a package. They said I make knives, and I'm gonna make you a gift. And he says, no, it's okay. Now I don't know how they feel about gifting. I don't know how they feel about knives, but different people express their thank yous, I guess, in different ways. And if I owned a restaurant, I'd probably give them free steaks, forever. Okay, but I made these for the doctors. So this one here is going to the second guy who did the second surgery, the bypass. These three are going to the physicians in San Francisco. So I went ahead and finally finished them today. I finished the sheaths, and they're ready to rock. So I'm going to be probably shipping these. Be writing some thank you letters on the the cards that I have made for these. I'll be shipping them out, soon. But I just wanted to show you guys, this is what they look like. Okay, so anyways, it's been about 2 years since I started these, and I'm never making them again. The grinds on these were just like, I just got so frustrated with the grinds, doing these grinds. But it's a 3/16 thick piece of 01 with three of these are canvas micarta, one's linen micarta, and I'm stoked. I'm going to be getting this done, and I said I was going to send them something, and I meant it. Excuse the mineral oil. I'm gonna wipe these down before I send them out, by the way. But yeah, it's I'm stoked they're finally finished. So on these I put solid brass rivets, and I put a 1/4 inch piece of tubing in the back. I didn't go with all tubing on these. And they've been done for, like I say, they've been done for a long time. The sheaths were cut into shape. The pieces were laying about, just ready to go. I finally this last week, a week ago, I ground them down, glued them, sewed them, did the edges today. They've been sharpened, and I'm, it's glad to have it done. And I said I was it's kind of, now that's all, the whole situation is, I guess you could say, if it's appropriate to say water under the bridge, it's, one of those things that we got through, and I said I was going to make these things, and I made them, and I'm glad I made them, and so I'm going to get these shipped out to these guys, and that's that. It's just the way I want to thank them for, I guess you could say, giving me my dad, making sure that he made it through this thing, because the first news was that you're going to lose him. We're going to lose him this week, and he's not making it. And it went from that to a maybe, then another maybe, to he's probably going to be good to go for how many years, and he's going to make it. So, all right, thanks for watching. Bye.